And we are live on Discovery Paranormal. And you tuned in to hear all about what? I don't know. We're going to find out. So, Baba Vanga is was a psychic and pretty good one too. They said she was about percent right when she would, you know, give her thing. So I think that first we have to understand who Baba Vanya was, and what's going on today. I'm talking about this because she had made a lot of predictions about Vladimir Putin and Russia and Europe and all that, and through different times and dates. She died quite some time ago, and she was a blind psychic. She got and she was from Hungary, got sucked up. I was watching Twister earlier. I was thinking about Baba Vanya. Gets sucked up into a tornado. It spit her out. And I guess she landed at all sand and crap in her eyes and whatever, but she was blinded and she started having all these visions. Or I don't know if she started having visions after that, but it probably made her pretty well famous. You get sucked up into a tornado. Not many people live to tell the tale of things like that. But either way, here it is. Baba Vanya, born uh, Vangeliya Pandeva Dimitrova in Strumica, and that was during the Ottoman Empire. During 1911, she was a mystic, clairvoyant, and herbalist. Vanya lost her sight when she was 12 in a tornado. She later was found alive, covered in dirt and stones, and she became blind as a result. In 1925, Vanya was brought to a school for the blind in the city of Zemun, in the kingdom of Serbs, Croats, and Slovenes. Half my family is Slavic. That my father's side. So that's where she spent 3 years and was taught to read Braille and how to play the piano. In 1927, she started making minor predictions about local phenomenon. Her powers for foreseeing clairvoyance deepened and expanded after she turned 30. She attracted believers with her ability to heal and soothsay, fortune telling. A great number of people visited her hoping to get a hint about what their relatives were, if they're okay on the other side. People wanted all kinds of messages and whatever. One of them was Bulgarian Tsar Boris III. Boris. I like that name, Boris. Boris. Another was Adolf Hitler. There you go. Because, Hitler was all into the psychics and all that. So in 1942, Vanga married Dimitriar Gushterov, a Bulgarian soldier, and then moved to Petrich, Bulgaria, where she soon became well known for her gifts and predictions. After the Second World War, Bulgarian politicians and leaders from different Soviet republics, including Soviet Premier Leonid Brezhnev, sought her counsel. Several researchers have studied the phenomenon of Vanga, and the attempts to establish whether she had any extraordinary capabilities. One of the first studies was initialized by the Bulgarian government and described in the documentary Phenom in 1977, fulfilling Baba Vanya's last will and testament. Her house in Petrich was turned into a museum, which opened for visitors on May 5th, 2008. So, why are we talking about Baba Vanya? All right. So, so she died about 24 years ago. and she made a bunch of predictions of what was going to happen in the future. She said she was said to predicted 9/11, terrorist attacks on World Trade Center, right? Chernobyl disaster in Ukraine. So I think that it's interesting. When people do make predictions, it's difficult to tell unless they're very precise on names, dates, and stuff. You had people like Nostradamus who made all kinds of predictions, but you can fit those predictions into a lot of different situations since it's not such to the point. Baba Vanga was more to the point when it came to predictions, which I find really interesting. So we're going to go through all the to the points of Baba Vanga and think about what she was feeling and what she meant by it. So everything that Baba Vanga basically predicted for 2022, right? I still have a hard time saying 2022. 2022. It's like 2022. How dare you? All right. So we went through who she was, and I think that she had a pretty interesting life, other than that she was blind. Think about people who are like deaf, dumb, and blind, and whatever. She wasn't deaf, dumb, and blind, just blind. But Helen Keller and the amazing things that people do and strive to do as humans. And then you think about other people who who just want to destroy others. You know, and every 100 years, there's a new monster, isn't there? Every 100 years, there's a new pathogen. Every 100 years, there's a new thing. Seems like it anyway. So, Baba Vanga predicted the cursed nuclear submarine disaster in 1980. Vanga said Kursk will be covered with water and the whole world will weep over it, claiming the disaster would happen in August 1999. The Russian sub sank in August 2000, killing all aboard. So here you have it right there. She's using the name Kursk. She's throwing dates out there that are very close. Not, hey man, that's pretty good. August 1999 to August 2000. You know, and she understood the emotion behind it, right? Interpreted the emotion. So how about this? ISIS. So the Bulgarian is also said to have predicted the rise of the group ISIS. She actually said the name ISIS, Syrian gas attack. Before she died, Wagner warned of a showdown in the country where Muslims would use chemical warfare against Europeans. This is thought to be similar to the suspected gas attack that President Bashir al-Assad launched against his own people. But it's interesting. She also predicted the chemical attack. I mean, we're going to get to that on Europe. And it was going to be uninhabitable. So, let's see. Brexit. Let's see. Some conspiracy theorists claim Wagner predicted Brexit. She actually incorrectly said Europe will cease to exist by 2017, something which obviously has not happened. I don't know, man. That I can get a little cryptic because Europe's not Europe anymore. Europe has definitely changed. They had an influx of people that are not European, that don't really care about the European laws and traditions. And then that in of itself has changed, So I'll give her that one. She claimed the 44th president of the U.S., who turned out to be Barack Obama, would be black. However, she also said that he or she would be the last president, which again didn't happen. Again, I have to lean towards Wagner because probably Barack Obama was the last presidential president that there's going to be. Where we're not in the world of presidential presidents anymore. We're in the world of used car salesmen and reality show hosts. So I'll say it like that. In 1989, she claimed the American Brethren will fall after being attacked by the steel birds, and the innocent blood will be gushing. Some believe this is a reference to the September 11th attacks in the U.S. Vladimir Putin will win the election in 2018. In 1979, during a meeting with writer Valentin Sidorov, Wagner said, all will thaw as if ice, only one remain untouched. Aha! Vladimir's glory of Russia. Freaky, man. World War III. Shortly before her death, the elderly woman said Russia will not only survive, it will dominate the world. And I'm going to tell you why. Do I believe that? I believe that there's a real chance for those who are evil and who would do anything to rise to the top, because we've seen this multiple times before. What I've seen, what the Russians doing to the Ukrainians, children, women, animals, whatever, just destroying them. The stories, the rapes, the murders, the soldiers shooting children because they're bored and drunk and whatever. This kind of carnage was seen before on the planet. It was the last time we saw it with Adolf Hitler. We saw that they didn't look at other people like human beings and value their lives. They have no value on their lives. This is what we're going through right now. So, you know, I understand that that type of energy is very dangerous, and how one person, just one person, can, create so much destruction, and how others allow it to happen, especially those around that person in their own country. And these days, it's only been going on for a week and a half. Imagine. So, all right. Let's see. In 2021, let's see, it contained a multitude of major events, and the coronavirus, all that. The following are her predictions for the coming year, according to the Mirror, which is the newspaper that captured this. A virtual reality takeover for the coming year. Another pandemic, this time discovered in Siberia, that is caused by a frozen virus that will be released by climate change. Ha ha! So another pandemic to look forward to, y'all. I'm ready. I'm ready for all this stuff. I'll tell you something. When you got nothing to lose, life gets really simple. You're not truly free until you have nothing to lose. Then you understand what freedom's all about. So, all right. Let me shut my stupid phone off. How dare you? All right. A prediction that many cities will face water shortages that will result in political consequences, and alternative solutions are used. So what are we seeing? Oh, the whole goddamn West is drying up. The Colorado River, all these things out there. Yeah, man, there has been a shift in weather, and that shift is doing all kinds of different things that you're not going to like, especially if you live in those areas. So, how about this? She predicted the invasion of Earth by aliens with the arrival of an asteroid. So remember that asteroid that kind of showed up, looked like a big poop floating through space? And scientists were like, that big poop could be aliens, man. Could be some aliens in there. Yeah, you never know. Got to get around somehow. How about famine in India due to a drop in temperatures there that will result in locusts attacking crops? Yeah, they already have locust attacks. Everything that's bad that can happen is happening in India right now. Unfortunately, people are suffering. Yeah. People are bringing up the Bible to me. It's the end of days, like revelations and the end of time and blah 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 blah. And it's always the end of time. Humans are hell bent on destroying themselves. I myself refer to myself as a master of self destruction. People do what they do. As long as hell has Instacart, I'm all right. I'm happy. I'm a happy man. If I got some coffee, some half and half, little bit of cane sugar, what the hell more do you need? Spaghetti and meatballs and some pizza, man. A little chocolate. That's my apocalypse kit. Whatever you guys have, that's mine. All right. And good bottled water. Yes. Poland Springs, which I really like. Anyway, the famine in India, yeah. How about this? More earthquakes and tsunamis with intense bouts of floods in Australia and parts of Asia. Ugh. All right. What else does she predict about the future? Global hunger will be eradicated between 2025 and 2028. You see, that's a positive thing. Unless people are eating each other. Let's see, 2025. This is 2022. In 3 years, yeah, people will probably be eating each other. That will solve the hunger issue, and probably housing issues too. You know what I mean? China will overtake the U.S. as a superpower. See, that, I don't know how much you want to put stock in that. People are talking about that, and the population of China is so big, but they also have India. The number one largest army in the world is India, and India's got a lot of technology too. So you can't discount India. They're all over the place. I think they own all the hotels in the U.S. now. It's really like they're enterprising people, and then they're going to go out there and buy businesses and whatever. So you can't discount India, right? But people don't talk about India that much. China, they talk about. Now, China, on the other hand, is the Chinese are oppressed, and they're kind of all not individuals. They are all they're all part of the system. You know what I mean? So if they go out and they leave China, they're an appendage of China. So they're more like wanting to take over the area that you're in. I was like that in Ithaca. And you know who Chinese nationals are because they act like you don't exist. They act like you're a ghost, or you don't belong or you don't exist or whatever, man. It's a very odd, weird feeling. It's not like other people will look at you, make eye contact, and smile, no matter who they are. These guys would have a sneer. They'd give you that sneer and like, why are you still alive type of like feeling. So, but a lot of them go to Cornell University, and then it's that's what's there. And the Chinese nationals also, like at Cornell, drive a Mercedes and all that, which I always thought was interesting because your average person in China doesn't have a Mercedes. It's not a wealthy country. I think the average family in China, the average worker, works on less than $1 a day. So it's different when you hear truths. You know what I mean? But anyway, polar ice caps will melt from 2033 to around 2045, and ocean levels will rise around this time. You know what's going on that's interesting? I'm going to add, as I'm drinking my coffee, my Sumatra roast. You know what's interesting? If the ocean has too much fresh water and it doesn't have enough salt in it, you know, it doesn't flow like it's supposed to flow. If it stops flowing, that's when all weather and everything would break loose in mayhem. Not only that, because the ocean flows the way it does into other oceans around the world and goes up north, it encounters cold water and all that. It goes through different oxygenating processes and all that, right? Because of all that, it keeps our Earth at a certain advantage when it comes to how the ocean cleans itself and all that. Even as dirty as humans are, and how disgusting people are, and they dirty the oceans, right? It's amazing. But without that, then that's when everything really goes bad. So we don't want to get to that point, but there's not much people can do about it. When people talk about global warming, you know, I always ask them, okay, here's a blank checkbook. How are you going to fix global warming? You know, and then I always get the same answer out of people. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. So it's a good idea, and you need ideas. Things come from ideas. This chair I'm sitting on was an idea at one time. It didn't exist before someone thought about they wanted to make a chair. It was other materials, right? And then someone took the initiative and brought it together and made a freaking chair. And it's that simple. So, but I think you can envision ideas, and you know what? It's good to have positive ideas of the future and working for better goals. You know, so it's just that there's a lot of people that don't like change, and they don't really understand that change needs to happen because it's nature. And there's a old saying, the way of nature is unchanging, but it's kind of like an opposite type of statement type of thing, because nature is always changing and adapting and growing and evolving. The nature now on this planet is very different than the nature a million years ago, and the nature 5 million years before that and before that. Not likely you could exist. And then, yeah, if things are thawing out and animals are thawing out and old human bones are thawing out and whatever, and pathogens can also thaw out. You don't think that these things couldn't affect you. All those times that people went into these ancient Egyptian tombs looking for riches and all that, and they all end up dying, and they say, "Oh, they were all cursed." No, they encountered bacteria and mold and things that ended up killing them. So it's not a curse. It's just, it is what it is, right? So Baba Vanga said, from around 2072, a classless communist society will thrive in hand with nature. There you go, nature. 2072, my bones will be long gone. Probably one of those communists will use my bones as like a wind chime. Yeah, I'll be on their communist porch. Listen to their communist kids running around nature. She said doctors will be able to cure any disease with cloning technology. And this was before cloning technology existed. These statements are from an elderly woman that died a long time ago. So, and is true, stem cell research and all the things that science is moving towards can cause and can cure a lot of illnesses. What happens if you cure all diseases? What happens if you eradicate everything? How about even lengthening the aging process? I mean, you really can't do that in of itself, because then there'd be too many people, right? Too much going on. And then what happens to the cancer institutes and raising all the money that they make, and what happens to the hospitals and all the money they make off the ghoulish things they do to you as you're dying of cancer? Really? She said a colony on Mars will enable the planet to become a nuclear power and demand independence from Earth around 2170 to 2256. They'll call the Elon Musk the Elon Musk colony, right? Oh my God. He said he wants to die on Mars. That's a goal. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have goals like that. Do you have goals like that? My goal is to eat tomorrow. That's it. I have a roof over my head, and I have simple goals, man. To die on Mars. That's nice. Of course, he's the richest man in the freaking world. He should be able to die wherever he wants to die. Shoot him out there in space, whatever. Bye. All right. And she said the universe will end in 5079. And that I kind of have an issue with because the universe is the universe. And, you know, there's a lot of different things out there that we don't really understand or maybe the universe that she's thinking of, the earth or whatever. I could see that. Look how stupid people are now. You know that we know what they do. Who is that? The Russian, spoiled rich kids of Russia. Putin's love child. You know he's only 5'5". That guy. The problem with short people, short men, is that they're dangerous. you know, in the club business, as somebody who was in security, I will tell you it's mainly the short guys that cause the trouble. And they do that to overcome their insecurities. You believe that? I believe that. I've read reports about that. So let me see. Let's go back to Baba. So she's not the only one who laid it down on the line and said what was going to happen. Let's see. Let me get down. There's some really interesting things that she said, though. It's you have to just think about the times and what people are capable of. I mean, a couple weeks ago we weren't talking about nuclear war. Now this guy Putin throws it out there, and like all people like him, they wear their insecurities on their sleeve. You're talking to somebody who is uh, someone who observes people on a certain level. We'll say, right? When I observe people, I automatically know what I'm dealing with. And when I think about what they're capable of, I automatically know how far I want to take things. So, and you know what? If you get into anything like, I suggest people get into neurological linguistic programming and NLP. It really helps you understand other people and what they think of, and also what you think of. Because a lot of times, if you're intelligent, you seem to think other people are too, and it's not the case. Some people are dumber than dirt, and the ones that can also be dangerous. But the most dangerous ones are the ones that need to prove something to the world, and they don't care what limitations they go to do it. So Hitler, short. Putin, short. Napoleon, short. Matter of fact, it's called the Napoleon complex. So tall people, confident. I'm not just saying that because I'm 6'5" and very competent. Oh, let me tell you, I have my moments. But I don't think I need to prove anything to anybody. I could give a crap. I don't have the drive to do that. To prove something. Yeah, prove something to who? You've mistaken me for someone else. A horrible, horrible. Prove something to who? I don't know. I don't know. She did predict that nuclear weapons were going to be used first, and then chemical weapons. So as a result, the radioactive fallout, neither animals nor vegetation will remain in the northern hemisphere. Then she said Muslims will start a chemical war against the surviving Europeans. Most people will suffer from ulcers, skin cancer, and other skin diseases as a consequence of chemical warfare and radioactivity. Europe will be almost deserted. So there's a thing in my mind about, and I'm going to get very real with you guys, right? I always am anyway. you know, it's not about the fakery with me. It's about the feelings. The day before yesterday, I woke up and I'm in a good place. Let me tell you, beautiful cabin in the woods. Nice area. I'm in an area where the temperature is around 75 degrees right now. Where I'm from in Ithaca, it gets real cold. They got like a foot and a half of snow since I've been. I'm just kind of poking around anyway, hanging out, trying to just reminisce about stuff in this world. You know, I'm on the path. Put it that way. I'm on the path. Yeah. So as I think about things and the feelings. All right. So all right. Forget that. Scratch that. Start over again. 2 days ago, I woke up. You ever wake up when you feel like you're not awake? You know, and that was the whole day. I just felt like I couldn't wake up. Had my coffees normal. Went outside, got a breath of fresh air. It's beautiful out. You know, chilling. But I just felt like I couldn't wake up. Okay, whatever. It's one of those days. There's times I do paranormal investigations where I feel the same way. That's the interesting connection. I think that as you go through life, you learn different things about your own feelings and the way you feel about different energies. So I know after I've done very involved paranormal investigations, it takes a few days for me to center again in this world. I truly feel like I have a foot in another world when this goes on. Like we build a bridge as we do this, and that's why we get the results that we get. So the following day, I was like, bleh, that was yesterday. And then today was like, bleh. Oh, like what? And then just after this afternoon, I started straightening it out again. This usually happens to me before something unbelievably terrible happens out there. It's like I absorb the energy before it happens. There's an old saying: every event is inevitable. If that's true, and it is, and I know that time overlaps itself. If you're sensitive, really sensitive, you can feel that rush. It can affect you spiritually. It just knocks you down. And like it's not like I've been tired. I might say I'm feel tired, not even like fatigued. It's like my soul is tired, you know, and I'm there, but I'm not really there. You know what I mean? And it's like that. So that's how I'm feeling. And it's not a good feeling, you know. It's not something that you even want to I don't know. It's not a good feeling, put it that way. And it's going away. So it means whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen within the next few days. That's exactly what that means. So but as for all these love children of Putin, he's a billionaire, got 150 more billion, whatever. At that rate, what are you? If you have that much money and power, what's left? You own the best land, you own the best yachts, you own the best helicopters and planes, and you can have anything you want, you can have basically. I think that for these people, the only thing left is for them to mess with other people, you know. But this guy's shifting Russia for the future. He wants all the countries back that that the Soviet Union lost. So, but Baba Vanya, you know, I appreciate people sometimes. There's people that I don't appreciate either, who make a mess like this guy Putin. And it comes. I know I'm talking about politics, but the Baba Vanya thing kind of led me into the whole political thing because this is what we're talking about. But I actually want to get to her actual predictions, you know, because yeah, I do believe that she was feeling these times. What's going on now? Do I believe that Putin's going to use a nuclear weapon? Yeah, I do. I think that he is going to make his mark. It's not going to be something that is going to bring a demand. Do I think he's going to nuke New York City or DC? Probably not. Do I think that there's submarines off the coast of America right now? Russian submarines? Sure, there are. There's also American submarines off the coast of Russia. So that's the game that they play, right? I think that he would definitely use a tactical nuke on a smaller area that's not where the radiation is not going to go downwind of Russia. You know, it's going to be someplace. And I have a really horrible, weird feeling that, I mean, if he launches against a place, if he launches against NATO, it brings NATO into it, and it's a fight with NATO. If he launches against non NATO, there's not much anybody can do about that except the UN gathering together to answer it. So now you have Sweden and Finland who want to join NATO because they're watching what's going on, and he had threatened the both of them. If you go that direction, you're gonna, not gonna be very happy. So, but interesting to see. But I had a dream a few, I don't know, 4 or 5, 6 weeks ago, whatever it was, and in this dream there was an impact, and it was everything went black, boom, smoky, boom, like an impact. And I almost likened it to some asteroid hitting the earth, like I felt like it was that, like, much of a punch, like an impact. Very funny how these things happen, and what you think about afterwards, what reminds you. 'Cause I had forgotten that in my dream. I was talking to one of my friends, and then, as I was talking to her, that I was like, wow, boom, because we were talking about prophetic dreams, and in that dream there was other stuff going on, but then came the impact. So I think that you know now now people are starting to talk about these old mystics like me. Yeah. I've done a show on Baba Vanga before, a couple of years ago. So I do like to talk about real psychics. There's a lot of fakes out there, man. I mean, people that even this day will fake you, claim other people's work as their own, you know, all that stuff, and that's deplorable, right? That's how low they are. They need to claim other people's work because they themselves is nothing, right? So let's see. What she actually say? So she said that a huge wave would cover the coast and people would perish. Ooh, and claim that about Australia and other Asian countries. You see, now I was feeling that for the east coast of the U.S. And this is going to sound crazy. Well, if you're listening to the show, it's not going to sound crazy. uh, Something's been telling me to get above 3,500 feet in elevation. And this has been years and years and years in my head. And now, like, I feel like we're upon it now. You know what I mean? Like it's happening now. Like get above 3,500 feet. I don't know. But that's these impulses. Sometimes things tell me to go out into cheese country and go to cheese farms and buy cheese. I get impulses. Damn it. No, something, there's been a clock ticking down in my head for a long time, and it had we're on it, and it's there, and you know, it's 0 hour, man. So the lethal virus in Siberia is interesting because I was just talking about that with a friend of mine who was a doctor, who's epidemiology, and talking about viruses and whatever, and we were just talking about like Siberia, or the Alaska. We're talking about ice and these creatures that are now thawing out, and these scientists are psyched because they get to get these samples on these beasts that have been frozen in ice for thousands of years or more, you know, and here they are, like bringing them back. not really thinking about the bacteria, right? Anyway, but the virus will be released and could quickly spin out of control. Now, a psychic saying could is interesting because one of my lawyers one time, a long time ago, taught me the word "could" is one of those words that shouldn't exist in the sense if you have some kind of intent. May, could, should, maybe. You don't want any of that. It either is or it isn't, you know? When you make it a business contract, especially, it is or it isn't. There's no could, there's no should, there's no expecting somebody to do something the right way that you would expect them to do because people don't do things that way. Learn about NLP and you'll understand that and why that works. Like that. A lack of drinking water, I believe that too. That's why I see if you're in the northeast of the U.S., unless somebody nukes it, you've got the best drinking water. You've got lots of trees that aren't going to burn down like the West, you know. I mean, I fear for the entire West. And this season, they really, I mean, they had some snow, they had this, they had that, but they really haven't experienced the type of moisture that they need. The Colorado River is dry in a lot of places. You know, Lake Mead is what feeds Las Vegas with you know, the hydro dam, so electricity and water, right? You have all these areas out there that are drying up. They want water from the Great Lakes in the Northeast, and all the governors like laugh at them, like, "Hey, we can pipe the water in from the Northeast." Yeah, send me that in a memo next year. I'll consider it. So, lack of drinking water. Many cities can be expected to be hit by shortages of drinking water. Population increases and the pollution of rivers will see many of people in the U.S. struggle to hydrate themselves. Stay hydrated. Gotta drink that coconut water, man. In fact, states will be forced to find other solutions to find new resources. An alien ship will attack the Earth. Again, an asteroid known as Aomama is the one. That's the one that floated on by the big poop. Will be sent by aliens to seek out life on Earth, and the unearthly beings could even take prisoners when they touch down. You promise? Because anything's got to be better than this place. Take me up on that big alien poop. Teach me your ways. You know what I mean? You guys have sex at all? You know what I mean? Got some coffee? I'm very simple. I'm very, very simple. That's what I'm thinking. Take people into space. The Earth is overcrowded and overpopulated, man. And then aliens plucking a few people. As long as they take people they really don't like, you know. There's people that they can take that I'm not going to miss. You start with Hollywood, work your way down, and go through politics. You know. How about I like the virtual reality how she envisioned that. You know, that's pretty cool. Let's see. Ooh, 9 chilling things Nostradamus predicted. Should I read that? The young, see, this guy's the cryptic dude. You can read into all kinds of stuff. The young lion will overcome the older one on the field of combat in a single battle. He will pierce his eyes through a golden cage. 2 wounds made one, and he dies a cruel death. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not going to devote any brain time thinking about that stuff. In 1559, Nostradamus predicted the death of Henry II. You see, I don't care. I don't care. I want to know what's going on today. Here we go. 2022. The U.S. dollar will collapse. According to Nostradamus' prediction, the inflation will be out of control and the U.S. dollar will collapse. Plus, gold, silver, and bitcoins will be seen as assets worth investing. I'll tell you about silver. I own some silver. With silver, if society completely collapses, you know you still have silver. It's not paper money that's worthless. And then, unlike gold, you can spend silver. if you have an ounce of silver or half ounces of silver, you can spend that and trade it. Gold worth way too much, man. So silver, 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 silver. Bitcoin. Let me tell you, if there's some EMP and everything, the electric goes out, your Bitcoins are gone. Don't even expect those things to be around. I'm just talking apocalyptically because that's what people are talking about these days. I don't think you got anything to worry about, although I'm lying. I'm just trying to make you feel better. Yeah, that's what the show's all about, man. Let's see. Famine and disease outbreak. Nostradamus had a vision of many natural disasters with the appearance of new epidemics and great famines. Yeah, he's right. 35,000 people lost their lives in sub-Sahara Africa last year in wars. Women, children drinking mud water, eating rats and things like that. You don't hear a word in the media for those guys. You know, every year, tens of thousands of people dying in war in Africa. Oh no, they don't have any oil. And whatever resources they have were bought by China, and China is mining those places, right? Let's see. A devastating nuclear bomb will explode. For 40 years, the rainbow will not appear. For 40 years, it will be seen every day. The dry land will become drier and great floods will be seen. Floods, dry. According to Nostradamus predictions for the year 2022, a nuclear bomb will explode and produce climatic changes. One nuclear bomb, no. 4 or 5 nuclear bombs, yeah, they could be a what they call a nuclear winter. So enough to kick enough crap up in the air to block the sun, a percentage where things would get much colder, not including radiation going all over the place, coming down in the form of rain, right? Global warming at its peak, Nostradamus says the king will cover the forest, the sky will open, and the fields will be burned by the heat. A prediction that could herald the destruction of the Amazon rainforest and expansions of the ozone layer, further exposing the earth to the sun's rays. You see, how come some good news? Why can't they say, in the future, you're going to be able to eat thousands of calories and lose weight at the same time? That's where I'm at. Woo! And you open up your bank account and the government gives you a dividend instead of taking taxes out, man. Oh, you're paying me to be an American? Ah, God love this country, man. That's right. Make things easy, simple, That's doom and gloom. Nostradamus, he's dead. What the hell does he know? Baba Vanga, gone. Yeah, do I think these things are going to happen? I think if you look at mankind and the history of mankind and the weapons of mankind, it all goes into a certain direction. And that's the machine, and that's what it does. I also think that things have to play themselves out, like the environment, like Putin, like anything. The only thing that really matters is that you save yourselves from this. Get away from this stuff. Here we go. Solar storms. I bet this guy was a manic depressive Nostradamus. You think? The end of the European Union. Here we go. Let's see. They're going to remember that a Treaty of Rome ratified in 1957 at its original European construction. According to Nostradamus, Brexit is only the beginning, and the entire European Union is destined to collapse in 2022. Well, here we are, and it's just the beginning of the year. I can see that happening because look what's going on, especially with NATO and Germany and whatever. Ugh. The rise of artificial intelligence is going to take power over stupid people. Good. We need it. Obviously. Oh, if you've lost all this bad stuff, maybe get a little AI in there, things get better. Make you into a battery to power its power systems, and then you could have your virtual reality and then live forever in the battery. Good. That's you, a battery, right? unless you take the red pill on Thursdays at 8 p.m. That's different. And a shower of asteroids will destroy the Earth. You see, now aliens would never let that happen because they need the Earth for other stuff. I'm going to end the show there on aliens. I'll see you guys next week on the show, hopefully. Hope all is well with you. Stay out of the major cities. Watch out, watch out, watch out. I pray for everybody out there that needs prayers, and I pray for the rest of you who don't. I'll see you guys next week on Discovery Paranormal. Bye.